Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 4 of The Bolder Woman on Wisp Sports. I'm Alex Rotas, and at Wisp Sports we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage.
Give it all you got, no hesitating. You've been waiting all your life. This is your moment.
Hello, and welcome to The Bolder Woman.
I go to the gym and I ride my bike, for leisure, and I paddle a surf ski. You've got to have good core strength to balance in the ski, so I do that once a week. I swim once a week. I swim about 1.7k in a swimming pool. But all these exercises I do, I stretch before and after. So, you need to just keep yourself flexible.
My guest today is the Australian world record-holding masters athlete Marge Allison. At 74, she's been described as Australia's most prolific female medal winner at world level over many years. She set 18 world records in 7 events: the 200, 400 and 800 metre races and the 200, 300 and 400 metre hurdles, plus the 4x400 relay. She's won a staggering number of World Championship individual medals, 53 to be precise. That's 38 gold, 7 silver, and 8 bronze. And here's a big first. In 1995, she was the first woman ever over the age of 50 to run 400 metres in less than 60 seconds. Marge was born in New Zealand and had started to make a name for herself in open athletics in her youth. Then she took time out, which isn't an unfamiliar pattern I'm finding with sportswomen of her era, as she married young by today's standards at 22, dedicating herself to her 3 children. She came back to competition in 1981 as a masters athlete in the 35 to 39-year-old age group. She moved to Sydney, and by the time she was competing in the next age group, the 40 to 44-year-old age category, she was setting national records, and she's not stopped doing so ever since. Quite remarkable. Marge became an Australian citizen in 1997. In 1999, when she was 55, she had a serious knee operation. Doctors told her she'd never run again. Well, they were wrong there, weren't they? When she retired in 2004, she and her then partner drove round the Australian coast, and it's a big one, in her words, looking for heaven. They found it on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Marge still lives and trains there, in Minneama to be precise, and it's from there she joins me now. Marge, hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, Alex.
Tell me about heaven. What's it got that makes it heaven for you?
Well, I suppose we have beautiful, long, hot summers here, so it's sort of more months of summer than we get of winter. And so it makes it very conducive to live an outdoor life, and that's why I guess I do athletics, to get out there and enjoy the outdoors and the wind in my face. And
you're on the coast too, so what about that? Is there anything there that?
Yes. Well, there's surf. I spend a lot of my time on the beach, and I have a surf ski, so I paddle that a lot and swim a lot and ride my bike a lot. So yes, it's beautiful place to live, absolutely beautiful.
Did someone tell me that you've got a life-saving certificate or some sort of?
I officiate on the beach. For surf life-saving carnivals. So whatever job they give me on the day, so it's either judge or counting the people that go into the water. We must make sure that all those that go into the water, sometimes we've got 32 people on the line to swim out and around Cairns. So you have to make sure that the 32 come back in again. So when there's high surf, it's hard going, So, yes.
Ever been some scary moments?
Yes, when you're judging surf skis and you're on a tower, they put a tower in the water, and so you're up, sort of like climb up a ladder and stand on a platform, and there has been occasions when the surf, rolls the tower over. So you have to jump, and you have to jump into the deep, not the shallow, and away from the tower. So, it's pretty, yeah. But anyway, that hasn't happened for a long, long time. They're sort of modern day, they're, making sure that the tower doesn't roll over, and they don't take risks anymore. So.
Well, so let's talk about your athletics. You've been running and winning in terms of masters athletics right through the age groups from 35 upwards. Tell me about little girl Marge. Did she love to run too? How did it all start?
Yes, well, that's interesting. I was, as a 12-year-old, well, as a child, I did all sport at school and loved it all. But then one day my elder sister said to me, she took me along to the local athletic club. And so it was about a 2-mile walk there. And when we got there, there was lots of other little kids there. And it was just so beautiful because in those days it was the athletic tracks were grass, and it was so green and it smelt nice. And then they lined you up to run. And you all had a lane, so all you had to do was run straight down this lane in between these lines. And I thought, and then try and beat everybody that was around you. And I fell in love with this. So I thought, oh, this is good fun. And you were barefoot too, so the feel of the lovely grass, it was just a great feeling. I loved it. So I thought, oh, this is me. So I kept going.
You obviously managed to beat the others right from the start, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. Yes, pretty much. And then it became the responsibility of my 2 brothers. Well, I've got 3 brothers, but 2 of them had to walk me, come and get me to walk me home because it was just on dusk. And so that was always fun. I got to play with my brothers when we walked 2 miles home from the track. So yeah, it was everything about it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful family sort of occupation for all of you, brought you all together.
Yes, yes.
So then you had a break. That must have been quite hard because you were doing quite well when you was competing in New Zealand.
Well, that's right. I sort of realised that as I became engaged that, well, my husband-to-be sort of pointed out to me that, what's it going to be, marriage or me? And I thought, oh dear, that's a tough one. So I chose him and got married and had 3 children very early on. And so, yes, I was out of it for probably 16 years. So I guess when I was about 36, I actually met up with a girl that I used to compete against when we were both growing up. And she said to me, I'm training to go to the World Championships, and they're going to be held in Christchurch down in the South Island of New Zealand. And she said, why don't you come with me? And I thought, I can't do that. And then I thought, blow it, maybe I can. So on 8 weeks training, away I went to my first Worlds. So I was in the 35 to 39 age group. And I tell you, I was absolutely in awe of all the men and women in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. And I thought, oh, what an eye-opener. I never knew that this was available to any and everybody. And, and here I am now. I'm in that age category myself. So, yes, it's interesting.
It really is, because I think lots of people are still not aware that this is available and that you can actually carry on competing, can't you, right through? I mean, you can carry on competing to your 90s or hundreds.
That's exactly right. Well, as we've seen, exactly right. Yes.
Yeah. So you started competing, and then, how did you get on in your first competitions? Because you started making your records when you entered the next age group.
Well, yeah, in New Zealand, I got second. I was in 5 events, and I got 2 seconds and 3 thirds. So no firsts. So then the next Worlds I went to were in Melbourne. By that time, I'd moved to Australia, and that was interesting too. The competition was fierce. I think I was ninth in the 100, and I was about sixth in the 200, and I was fourth in the 400. I mean, what a position. All I wanted to do was be on the podium. And then I was selected in the relay, and we won that, and that was very exciting. So that was my first ever gold medal in Australia. So, in those championships.
When did the hurdles come in? Because now you're renowned for your hurdling.
Yes, well, I was a hurdler when I was competing as a child, and when I came back into athletics, I thought, oh, jeepers, you don't want to break the body before you start. So, and so I sort of put them out of my mind for a while until I got into the competing, and then I thought, oh, so it was when I went to Eugene, Oregon. We had the World Championships there, and they were absolutely wonderful. It was like heaven on a stick. It was like, Oregon, it's Athletic City, the Nike headquarters was down the road, but they did it, they had it in the university there, and that was my first 400 hurdles race there. And once again, I was fourth. I know.
Oh, that's the worst, isn't it? What age group were you in then?
I must have been in the 40s or 45s. Yeah. I think I was in the 40s, at the end of the 40s. So that's when I made up my mind. I thought, right, you're going home to train real hard, girl, and you're going to be on the podium next time. And I was lucky. Yeah, so.
Marge, tell me something about the hurdles, because I believe that the heights don't all stay the same as you get older. How does it work when you're in masters athletes?
Well, yes, that's right. It does. And also the distance, like when I was in the 40s, up until when you're 50, the distance hurdles are 400 metres. And then when you turn 50, they bring it back to 300 metres and they take it down by 5 centimetres, the height down. So, and then, of course, when you get to 70, yippee, it's 200 metre hurdles, but it's still the same height. Once they get it down to the lowest height, they can't adjust it anymore because no many hurdles just won't go down any lower. So we have to keep on at that. So that's why there's sort of fewer people doing it, but then once again, in all ages, there's fewer people as we get older because people sort of are not able to maintain flexibility, etc. And that's something that we have to work on, So, and hurdling, it's like a rhythm. People think you jump them, but if you watch a really good hurdler, the head height you should be able to draw a line with the head, and it's all it is the legs going. You're running and the legs going. The head should not go up and down. Once you see somebody going up and down, they're in for injury because they hit, when they come down, they hit hard, and then you've got to start running again. And it's a rhythm event, and that's why I love it. It's like tap dance on the dining room table.
So that's a great visual image. I shall watch out for that. So are you saying that there are, how many different heights are there then for the hurdles? In the open event? Three.
Oh, well, no, we'll see the open men, it's like a high jump. I mean, have you seen them? It's nearly up to their waist before they even start. That's the sprint hurdles for the men. So there's something like 5 different heights that graduate down.
And they change when you hit 50 and 70.
That's right, yes. So now I'm at where it is now. That's it. I've just got to keep training. So I do sort of work to keep flexible so as I can, keep hurdling because I love it.
Oh, so tell me about that. How you keep yourself flexible. What do you do?
Well, see, I believe that we need to cross train. So I not only do track work, I also do. I go to the gym, obviously, and I do a lot of stretching. I say to a lot of people, we shouldn't sit on the couch to watch the news at night. We should sit on a Swiss ball whereby we balance on it and then lean over it backwards and that sort of stuff. But so, I go to the gym and I ride my bike, for leisure, and I paddle a surf ski. So that's, one of the competition skis. They're skinny as. You can only just fit your bottom into the ski, and then there's about an inch either side. That's how narrow they are. And they're very long, so you've got to be able to have good core strength to balance in a ski. So I do that once a week. I swim once a week. I swim about 1.7K in a swimming pool. So, but all these exercises, all these activities I do, I stretch before and after. So, you need to just keep yourself, flexible. And to me, it's all about your health. It's part of your health. So it's like, insurance, money in the bank,
So tell me, is a normal week one where you're scheduled that on a Monday you'll go to the swimming pool and a Wednesday you'll, I don't know, do something else? Or are you more haphazard about it, and do you do it on a whim? And if it's...
Oh, no whim. No, it's Mondays I do track, and then I go straight to the gym. So I'm all warmed up, so I do my gym and do all my stretching. Tuesdays is when I swim, and I quite often ride my bike to swimming, which is probably about 7K there. So I'm all warm when I get there, and then I swim 1.7 and then ride my bike home. And then Wednesdays it's back to the track. Thursdays is the day I play with my hurdles. I call it play with my hurdles because I do a lot of walking over the hurdles, drills. I don't do a lot of running over them because I try and save that for closer to competition. But it's important to keep, the hips going and be on your toes and be able to get over the hurdles. So, and then Fridays I paddle my ski. Saturdays, if I'm not competing, I'll go for a long run. And then Sundays is my day off. So, and I'm very religious about that. And I keep a diary on, for instance, on my track days, I write down what my track session is. And then when I get home, I record in my diary what I achieved, what the conditions were, like weather, headwind, tailwind, whether I was wearing my spikes or whether I was wearing my racing flats. But mainly I do wear racing flats, so I only get into the spikes closer to competition. So all these things are important, and it's sort of like a tracker, you're tracking your, so you can keep it. And I also think to myself, if ever my times drop off badly, well, then I know, there must be something wrong, so I start checking my health. But I'm very lucky, so that's, but no, I don't do anything on a whim.
Oh, sorry, I mentioned it. So when you say you're very lucky, but you had that big knee operation, how did you recover when you were...
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. Well, the surgeon said that I probably wouldn't run again. And so I I did have a lot of trouble because I carried a lot of fluid in the joint, and they kept draining it off until one day they said to me, look, the physiotherapist said, we can't keep draining this fluid off. So I thought, well, maybe the specialist was right and I'm never going to run again. So I kept going back to the physio because I trying to, do everything that they said. And then 9 months went by with no running. And then gradually I thought, well, maybe this fluid's never going to go away. So I started just a little easy jog and stuff. So it's the knee is a little bit more swollen than the other, but look at what I do. So I gradually got back into it. So, so never say never.
Never say never, and never really get worried about a bit of fluid then, because what you're saying is...
Well, that's right. And look, like now it's really good and look, I'm running, and so if I'd have, mind you, I didn't for 9 months because I just sort of thought, well, I couldn't, and so that was the way it was. But it's interesting if you sort of take the advice you're given and rest up, and then gradually, slowly, come back. It's amazing what the body will do.
I mean, after 9 months, which is a long time, you still got yourself back and you become, you're a world record holder and you're still making and breaking records. So, that gives people like me a lot of comfort.
My advice to people who, like yourself, for instance, if you're injured and you can't run, is to just get in the pool. And it's amazing what the water will do for you. You can just walk in waist-deep water and you'd be amazed. You can do more exercises. And once you do any exercise, it gets blood flowing to the area where you need to be healed. And that you'll be amazed how much it'll help.
Those are good words. Very encouraging. And also psychologically, I think, when you're used to being active, so getting in the water, you just feel, okay, I'm doing something. I'm an active person again. Marge, tell me, what about diet? Any special diet? Are you, I imagine you're, No,
none at all. No diet at all. Mind you, I call it healthily, but truly, my family, my daughter and son-in-law and 2 grandchildren, they're vegans, and my 3 children, they all eat healthily, but they say, Mum, if you eat healthily for 80% of the time, you can eat rubbish for 20% of the time. So in other words, if you're out with your friends and or on a road trip and you're hungry and you call into McDonald's, that's okay because you don't normally do it, So that's my attitude. But I do eat healthily, so but not over the top. Like sometimes I'm out with friends and I say, I feel like some chips. And they say, you can't eat that rubbish. And I just laugh and I eat it. But it's not often, yeah.
Not fanatic, in other words.
No, you can't afford to be. You've got to live life and you've got to fit in with people. And, there's nothing more annoying than being in a social group and say, oh, I can't eat that and I can't eat that. No, I'm on a special diet. Just get on with it.
Marge, you're 74, so you're going to go up into another age group. When will that be?
Yes, and you won't believe this. Look, we've got the Oceania Masters Athletic Championships here in Australia in the end of August, the beginning of September. They finish on the 7th of September. And would you believe, on the 13th of September, I go into the next age group, 75.
That is so frustrating. Oh.
Well, it is, because when you're training for something and you're training, and I sort of think, doesn't matter. I'm just going to give it a good shot, and this will be my last competition in this age group. Yes, but it would be nice if it was a bit later. But anyway, it's not.
So when's your first in the next age group?
Well, that'll just probably be a local competition in Brisbane. Like a club competition, because we then won't have anything after the Oceania until the following year, 2020, which then we'll have our nationals and then we'll lead into the World Championships, I think they're in Canada. Yes. Yeah. So that's, yeah. And I think they're planning to hold them around about the middle of the year. So that'll be my next big one. So I'll be nearly 1 year into the age group. So, yeah.
Yeah, you missed that advantage of the first few months.
That's right. But look, that's the way it is, isn't it?
That's the way it is. Marge, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us. Very, very special. And carry on. Well, good luck in the competitions. You can still make and break records, can't you? Even if they're local events, I think.
Oh yes. As long as it's as long as they have a wind gauge for the hurdles and electric timing. Yes, you can.
Wonderful. Well, we'll be watching for new world records from you, Marge.
Thank you.
Carry on enjoying heaven.
I will.
And it's just been a real treat talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
So that's our show for this week. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another great guest. In the meanwhile, do be sure to subscribe to Wisp Sports on your podcast player. If you want to find the show notes for this episode, they're on the Bolder Woman show page at wispsports.com. While you're on the website, you'll find lots more coverage of women's sports, from podcasts to videos, interviews, blogs. We cover all sports around the world. Do follow us and share your comments on social media at Wisp Sports and at Alex Rotas. We'd love to hear from you if you've any suggestion for guests, or if you'd like to tell us what you think of the show. Do drop us a line to info@wispsports.com. So till next time, a big thank you for listening. We know you've a choice out there with some wonderful podcasts. So thank you for supporting women in sport everywhere.
This is your moment.